Hello and welcome to Stephen Allen Almost Daily. I'm Stephen Allen and it's almost daily. And hang on. I knew this was a bit of a big ask to try and do the fancy camera work at the start of the show after just being on another thing. Bear with, and boom! Hello, I'm Stephen Allen. Was not worth it. Can you even hear me? Yes, you can. We're up and running. Thank you for tuning in. It was a close one. So I've literally, less than a minute ago, I was on 5 Live, and which is why I've still got the stupid earpiece. Shall we leave the earpiece in? Shall I be professional for once? I don't need to hear any of this. Why would I do that? So welcome along to this live streaming event where I go through the newspapers. It's a Friday. It's a Friday, isn't it? Hang on. That means I've got to find the Friday thing. I did not. It's Friday. Welcome to Friday Live and Loose with me, Stephen Allen. Hi. It's a Friday Live and Loose. Let's see what we got then. Also, the energy drink. I don't even need to play the jingle. I'm nearly finished this one. So I've just been doing the 5 Live thing. I thought I'd show you this, actually. Is there anything on here that's offensive? No. So let's just go to zoom in on there. Look at the doodles I make whilst being on 5 Live. The only thing that I wanted to draw your attention to, if you go back and listen to it, Tim Marshall, the foreign affairs correspondent and an expert on all things foreign affairs at, it'll be roughly this time, because this is when we heard it, there might be a delay when it goes out, but 11:46 and at 11:53, the expert on international affairs said, yes, Steve's absolutely right. Boo! I'll take it. It's the closest we're going to get to anything like that. So go and enjoy some of that if you want. Normally we like to start off, even on a Friday Live and Loose.
Friday Live and Loose.
We like to start off with a look at the front pages. However, today's front pages, they're all on the same story, and it's all about the fire, the tragedy of the fire. I ain't going to get into doing jokes about that, so I'm sure you'll understand. Friday one, we don't even need front pages, do we? What we do need is the chat. There it is, looking good already. Proper Meme says, I think Steve's still on Times Radio. I was on 5 Live, not Times Radio, but I'm on Talk Radio at 1 o'clock. Yeah, well, one day of work in this entire Christmas period. Joodles is here. Happy New Year, people, and a wave as well. Proper Meme saying, I'm hoping 2027 will be better. Yeah, that's my year. Because I've stopped saying, on New Year's Eve, I used to be like, you know what, next year's going to be my year. And I've stopped saying that because it's just getting awkward. It's getting awkward. Keep dropping the hints. The year's not listening. Charlotte's here saying, yeah, you made it. Well done, Steve. Thank you. I really had a difficult commute there. I was going to change shirts, but I didn't have time. You don't want to see that happen. 2026 is off to an amazing start, says Proper Memes. Oof, get you being experty, says Joodles. The expert said, I agree with Steve. Even I was shocked, because here's what happens, right? When I'm on it's only a couple of times a year I get to do the 5 Live thing, and Adrian Charles, I don't know if he likes me or not, but I'll tell you what he does. You get a phone call before you go on where they tell you what the stories are going to be, and they want to know what your opinion is. And he always manages to ask me a question that I'm sat here with notes going, right, here we go. I got a really good point about the Your Party, because it's going to, the Lib Dems. Look, Lib Dems here we go. I've got a hot take on the Lib Dems. And he'll just come to me, what about the Greens? So if you want to hear me just spitballing. We were asked about various things. Get ready for international stuff. No one said Iran before the start of the show. And then we did like 15 minutes on the situation in Iran. Okay. I can sit here and Google while it's going out. And he comes to me and said, what do you think about Trump's take on Iran? And I said it. I started speaking because you can't leave dead air. And at the end of that, 11:46, Tim Marshall said, I totally agree with Steve. So I've peaked in terms of knowing what I'm talking about. It's very much downhill from here. Welcome along. You're here for it. So look, Joodles, the new 2026 ticker tape font 2. We're sport rotten around here. It is, and I can't change the fact that it doesn't line up with a shadow. So this font will not last. I do not like how the shadow, it's a low hanger, isn't it? It's hanging low. There's not a lot of shadow above, a lot of shadow below. I've ruined it for you now. Chris Hood says, what about the greens? I love sprouts, not around Christmas. Yeah, they're both causing problematic gases, aren't they? And so look, foreign affairs expert Stephen Allen says proper memes. I mean, given the chance, depends what kind of affairs and depends what kind of foreigners. But I would, what? And I think we're up to date. Yep, we're up to date. So you get your comments in. We'll see what we've got going on. We're not doing front pages. However, I did think, I've realised that I've also got some wires in the way down there in terms of what we're looking at. We'll go through some of the stuff in the news. I was going to try and get you some clips of people saying that I'm right, but I guess we didn't get to do that. That's all right. Instead, there is the front page one here, but a couple of things from last night. Last night I was on GB News doing a newspaper review, and boom, here we are. LBC back on DAB tweeted, I used the word extrapolate. And I wanted to bring this up because he said, on the long words tonight with extrapolate. And my first joke of 2026 that I was aware of is extrapolate a long word? Imagine what it would sound like if it got longer and longer. I did a joke. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. That's the only joke you're going to get. So you've got me being right once, and that happened an hour ago, and then one joke, which I did last night. You're up to date. Right. So what we could do, there are a couple of stories that were sent through. Thank you for these. Chris got in touch. Chris Hood, hello Chris Hood, got in touch and said for Pedantry Corner, why do I not prepare these? Pedantry Corner.
Don't you mean...
Thanks to proper memes, I got a lot of these to load in yet, but we didn't get time to do that. This is the worst story I've ever seen. I'm appalled. I'm outraged. National Trust blacklists volunteer who points out spelling mistakes. National Trust blacklist. Well, okay, it's exactly what I've just read from the headline. Andy Jones banned from helping out after criticising charity's boss. No, this is Firstly, this is exactly the kind of person we want in the world, going around checking stuff out, just doing proofreading. And also, I think I'd be in favour of a new rule. Obviously, graffitiing is bad, but if you spot spelling mistakes, you should be allowed to underline something with a zigzaggy red marker pen like Spellcheck's got it. You should be allowed to do that to people's tattoos as well. Just Anyway, a 71-year-old, Andy Jones, a volunteer at the Trust for more than a decade, sent a dossier of thousands of misspellings and factual errors. Don't ban the guy. Go around and correct the darn things. After sending a strongly worded complaint to his local branch in which he criticised the Trust's Director General for not responding, he was told that his comments were not in line with our organisational values. Yeah, you wouldn't want to be right. Imagine having an organisational value that includes preferring to be wrong. National Trust, national I don't trust. That's my hot take on that one. Thank you very much. That's all the emails and stuff that we've had sent through. So get rid of that. Back into the comment section. The first PG jingle of the year, says Joodles. Yep. Blacklisted sounds a bit racist, says Proper Memes. Well, when you say it, it does. And Charlotte says, bad punctuation spelling is my pet hate. If all the places you expect to not see the problematic signs would be the National Trust, if ever. Know your demographic. There'll be another thing on the show today where I go on about this. Know your demographic. The National Trust, you're the kind of Radio 4 listening, Tunbridge Wells resident writing to points of view kind of person. That's your target market. Even I can't say market, so I'm not for them. So I'm going to move my doodles over there. So, Proper Means that Steve's already ordered the National Trust dossier for those lonely nights in the shed. I'd love to have a read of that. That would be a special feature, wouldn't it? So let's do the innards.
Let's get inside the news.
Indeed. I have some news stories that we should go through. I am not very well prepared for these, but we've got to wrap through them because I've got stuff to do at one. Stay there, I need to cough. That mute button's pretty good, isn't it? Stop making resolutions. Our New Year's resolution is to stop making New Year's resolutions. Yes! Oh, by the way, look how zoomed out that is. Look how much space I have to show you the rest of the newspaper. Also, that's pretty darn zoomed in, and this one's not. Flipping Oh, it's not often at this age I feel that tingle. So, on New Year's resolution, yes, good. If you want to see, I think I've written about this somewhere. I don't know where the hell I've written about it, but of course, it's stupid. The New Year's resolution is utterly pointless. It's the worst time of year, the time when everything conspires for you to have the least willpower. We go, do you know what? I think I'm going to train like an athlete. You know what? You're going to do one thing and then cry and then give up. Why don't you wait until the Chinese New Year? It's not really a new year, is it? I personally like to wait for the tax year. If you're going to start anything, honestly, it seems like I'm being glib, but think about it. April, when the sap starts to rise, when even a man of my age feels that tingle, that's the time when it's worth doing your New Year's resolutions. So we're going to drop this story, track down wherever I've written more about it, but let's agree to do our New Year's resolutions for the new tax year. One of them simply is put money in an ISA. You tick that off straight away, you feel like you've accomplished. You're up to date. Hang on. Joodles is saying, that made my teeth itchy. Well done, Chris. Oh, yeah, because Chris said, I also hate poor spelling. Arr! If you're listening to the audio-only version, you just guess what's happened. You wrote it like you just headbutted the keyboard. My New Year's resolution is just to be naughtier, says Charlotte. Well, it depends how naughty you were in the first place, isn't it, I suppose? But all power to your elbow. That's one way to do it, isn't it? But do it in April, even better. New tax year. And Chinese New Year's resolutions. Now that sounds racist when you say it proper memes. Isn't it weird how in your voice everything comes across as a little bit problematic and 1970s? Alan's here. Hello, Alan. My only New Year's resolution is don't make New Year's resolutions you can't keep. But you've made one. I suppose you can keep it. All right, no, fair enough. Right, and headbutted the keyboard. It happens. It is a risk. I've not read any of these. Freezing wiggle. Oh, this is a good one. This story actually gets covered in my all-hit radio show later on today, but I popped it here as well because it's a doozy. Elderly people worried about keeping warm are being advised to wiggle their toes. Now, I know it's not been the winter of talking about freezing pensioners because the winter fuel story's gone away, but still. Electricity, gas, all of that, heating, very expensive and very cold. I think it's currently 1 degree out there because my phone tells me the temperature outside the shed due to the fancy aircon thing. We've got 1 degree out there. It's 23 in here, obviously, but it's 1 degree out there. And we're worried about pensioners freezing. The advice up in County Durham, where I imagine it's even colder, is to wiggle your toes. And you think, what a stupid thing to say to pensioners. It's actually genius. I've got hiccups and everything. It's actually genius, and I'll tell you why. When you read that, the pensioners will be so outraged that such a dumb piece of advice could happen. Oh, they'll be shaking their fists. They'll be, oh, cool, blimey, my dad. And they warm up from all of the anger. That's the plan. This is probably the nudge unit. So there's some sort of genius level play here saying, let's really wind up the pensioners. And that outrage, cool, blimey, it's all fields around here, will keep them warm through this winter. You're welcome. And then they'll be angry, and the people in the Department for OAP Warmth will be like, yeah, they don't realise how much we helped them, but we did. Now get out of here, you young scamp. Cool, blimey, it was all, keep to your own, all that. They're like old people say. Good news stories. Charlotte says, very good. I can't possibly disclose how naughty I've been. Well, nor would I even know what metric that would be on. How would you measure it? Measuring it might be part of the problem. Wiggle your toes is what I always say to people as well. Well, as long as it keeps someone warm. I'll keep that to one side. Oh, this one we did. This was from yesterday's paper, but it almost made it on the All Hit Radio show, and I realised you can't broadcast this. Hang on. Good evening. Did I tell you, by the way, that I Timu'd a pair of titanium glasses? I said I needed some fake glasses like I used to have in case a character needs... the problem is, they're not fake glasses, they're actual glasses with a lens that... Can I show you the lens? It's got... I can show you under here, can't I? Got flipping writing on it because you meant to put lenses in. You have to scratch that bad boy off. Good evening. Michael Bublé. There he is. Good old Bubbly. Mickey Bubble. First love a pillow. None of the headlines make sense, but I can give you the story. Michael Bublé claims he learned how to snog and make out with girls thanks to a pillow on a smelly fishing trawler. Now, ladies, I think I know why you love him. If ever you were going to learn to snog, doing it in an environment that one would say is aromatically piscine. That's made it worse. I didn't mean that. You know what? Well, either way. Good evening, Michael Bublé. No wonder. Have you seen his wife? No wonder he's managed to bag himself. Good one. There's a man who learned to snog near fish. Keep that one side for reference. I upset people once when Michael Bublé had like an ITV special, and I used to tweet about TV shows all the time, and there were loads of women just going like, "Oh, is it gorgeous? It's absolutely gorgeous." And I pointed out, I just tweeted, here's a picture of his lingerie model wife. Ah, dear, got some hate for that. Interesting. Gifters keep on giving. Brits flogging unloved Christmas gifts for a tidy profit will peak this weekend, with experts dubbing January the 4th Sell It Sunday. It's not that catchy, is it? There's no news around. People are selling stuff that they don't like. However, I can solve this for you. Be a middle-aged man and no one really buys you much. So there you go. That sorts that out, doesn't it? But I'm not complaining. I didn't even get socks this year, but it's all right. I preempted that by buying myself loads of socks. I Teamu'd them as well when I was buying some glasses. Also, imagine when someone said, "What do you want for Christmas this year?" I couldn't say, "Can I get some fake glasses so I can dick around on YouTube?" I learned a lesson this year on Father's Day. My missus pulled an absolute blinder. Do you know what I got for Father's Day? A toy that our son could play with. It's not a gift for me, is it? But I can't moan about it. What kind of a miserable misanthrope would be sitting there moaning about that, taking joy away from his child? So of course, I was trapped. I was locked. It was a genius play. She got me a toy for our son to play with. Trouble is, it's such a good move. I'm going to do the same. And you think, okay, well, that's tit for tat. No, it's not tit for tat. This is genius because right now, yeah, sure, tit for tat. Toys for 1-year-olds and 3-year-olds to play with. Yeah. But give it a handful of years and all of a sudden, what did you get your missus for Mother's Day? Oh, I got her the latest Grand Theft Auto for my son to play. So that's working there. Ems is here and says, my hands are chilled, hence the poor grammar. Fair enough. If you want to warm your grammar up, tell her to wiggle her toes. Chris Hood says, but isn't that racism for people without legs? I've missed something. Oh, wiggle your toes. I'm with you. Well, you don't have to worry about cold feet, I suppose. He says, it's -1 up north. Feels colder on the beach where I'm currently walking. What are you doing that for? Of course it's going to be colder with your wind chill factor and your coastal stuff. Woof. Poor old dog as well. You might never see that again. Are all old people Elizabeth Doolittle? Oh, blimey, Governor. It's a right piece, super, and no mistake. Come on, Dover. Move your bleeding arse. Cold hands, cold face, warm feet, whatever it is. Wouldn't it be lovely? I'm not sure how she was lying near that fire. She might have. She didn't know how to use fires. She was an outsidey girl. Do you know what I mean? She had a dream, but she didn't know what a fire was like. She wouldn't it be lovely? It'd be lovely if you could learn how to speak properly. And then what else we got? Just wait 2 weeks and there's less competition out there, Steve. Thank you. And you need an island, Steve. I do. You're right. I hope your son didn't get your toy for his birthday. It's not until March, but that's a very good idea. All right. I like that. Well, I can work with that. What's this one? Slimmers eye drugs on TikTok. It's not me, is it? Honestly, it's a stupid sentence. Slimmers say they'd buy fat jabs from social media sellers if they couldn't get a prescription. Oh, well, that's why you're going to die. The number of stories we've had about the fat jabs, and people say, like, oh, the number of deaths and this happened. And then you read down the story and it's because someone bought the dodgy, moody, fake version online. It's not the drug's fault then, is it? It's literally not the drug's fault. It's a compound that's not the drug that causes the thing that's been front page on national newspapers. And people are going, well, obviously I'd like to get my drugs from a doctor, but if I can't do that, then That person who's spending all of their time getting grok to put them in a bikini, I'll buy some drugs from them. You deserve whatever you get. And that's the case. Sorry, it's New Year's Steve. I'm harsh. Wet nose, healthy dog, says Proper Memes. Is that about the Michael Bublé story? I bet he does as well. What else have we got here? They always say cold hands, warm heart, so I must be doing something right. And, yeah, depends. Have you got warm hands? And Alan says, I moved to a new home last year, decluttering my home and storage space. The stuff you don't want I gave as Christmas presents for other people, saves money. Genius. Excellent. And Chris Hood says, Charlotte is a masseuse with cold hands. Not good for business. I don't know. Not good for business right now. But you know when we get the heat wave around Wimbledon time, you'd be grateful then, wouldn't you? Right? No, think outside your box. Bacon. It's in the news. Bacon saved. Bacon lovers may soon be able to enjoy it without harming a pig. A US firm, Mission Barns, produces lab-grown meat using a tiny sample from a porker and then combine it with plant protein. We've been doing that for years. That's just putting a slice of lettuce on top of the sausage. I don't know why you do it with sausage, but that's not a new thing, is it? Okay, you're doing it on like a micro level. And what about those of us who don't really like bacon, but do like harming a pig? Not thought that one through. I don't know. It's kind of the one thing that's always been good about when people go vegan and you know that they suffer by smelling bacon and not being able to eat it. I think fixing that, I don't know. Your scientists spent too long thinking about if they could and not long enough thinking if they should. There you go. Price of a pint. Pub goers face forking out even more for pints in 2026. Excuse me. Duh. Yeah, because that's how prices go. And this is the weird thing about the world. If this story was the opposite of this, beer gets cheaper next year, it would actually be a sign of economic contraction. We'd be in recession, stagflation, and other words like that I don't really know what it means. But I don't. Could you say I don't need to know what it means because I was right twice earlier about Iran. Well, the first one was about Iran, and the second one I can't remember what I was right about. But Tim Marshall did, so I don't need to be right about this. Stagflation, shrinkflation, all of those. Anyway, apparently Heineken will hike the cost of several brands, including loads. No one cares. Will make it more. It'll go up to £6.04 a pint. I'm glad that I don't drink. I feel bad as well because I posted something on social media on January the 1st, setting up a joke that I knew was going to be 4 tweets later, saying I hadn't had a drink all year. I haven't had a drink for decades. So that was not... I felt I got a couple of people going like, oh, well done you. I feel like I don't deserve the praise for my willpower. It's not willpower. I don't really like it. Here we go. Okay, well, that needs to zoom in. That's ridiculous. That's an embarrassing small news story, isn't it? There we are. I need a little X on the table so I know where to put these things. Blondes were most likely to win big premium bond prizes last year, as if they're not lucky enough. 74% scooped at least £500, while only 57% of redheads, the unluckiest, bagged a win, as if they haven't suffered enough. They're redheads? They hear that they've won on the premium bonds. They walk to the post office because it's sunny, so they can't do that. And then they go online instead, and they find that they've won less than a blonde person. Something's not right about that. Plus, also, correlation versus causation. That. So you think, why did someone who's got at least an A level in maths waste some good time doing this analysis? It's to plug the premium bonds. Even I'm not that dumb. It's just a way of getting it in the news. But I don't think, if you've got premium bonds, please don't go and peroxide yourself thinking, this year, come on. I don't know why you're blowing your own dice there. Ding. BLTs all round. Why not? Because the lettuce and tomato are already plants, and they're going to make the B out of plants as well. No. I make you squeal like a pig. Plant protein. If you want something to squeal, it's not quite there, but halloumi makes that noise when you chew it, doesn't it? It's almost there. Price Heineken. You see, it's harder than it looks, probably, isn't it? And it's the age-old price per capita thing again. Yes, you're right. Beer has gone per capita. The beer has gone up. It's not. You're right. I don't want this live stream to be a place for people who don't understand per capita, though, because it's not even okay. It's a Latin phrase, but we should just say per person, and then we can get rid of all that lot, can't we? I know it means per head, but we should just say per person, and everyone can understand that, can't they? Everyone can understand the concept of a numerator and denominator, he says, realizing there's a clip of me on GB News proving not everyone understands numerators and denominators. What else did we get to? Alan says, if pigs could fly, the prices of bacon would go up. Nice one, Alan. And M says, as a redhead, oh my, have you not suffered enough? Redhead, and you live in Middlesbrough, and you're on a beach. I can confirm I win less than blonde people. Maybe I don't have any premium bonds though. Yeah, you're right. That one is definitely causation, whereas the other one is correlation. And beer prices have gone up per head. No, you're right. They have actually. You're right. Also, sometimes when you order a beer, there's actually too much head on it. So if you stop making head being this discrete variable and make it a continuous variable, the price per head could go down if you don't complain about having too much head. And I realise I've just set up another joke there about getting too much head. Is that Michael Bublé story around here? Nothing's there when you need it, is it? Remember, I was right about an international news story earlier, and now I'm doing these jokes. Look how much I could fit I could start doing broadsheets on this flipping show now. Grease frightening. Woke ITV put trigger warning on film. Oh, it almost lines up. Look how good that's going to line up when I get it sorted. I think we talked about this story before, so I apologise for doing the same material, but it still stands repeating. Woke ITV bosses have slapped trigger warnings on classic musical Grease for scenes of teenage misbehaviour, and I am in favour of it. Normally my Substack is filled with me bemoaning and besmirching and bemusing the concepts of trigger warnings. You don't need them. They're ridiculous. This one I like, because it's the only thing that reminds me that they're meant to be teenagers in the film Grease. Because when you watch that, you're like, well, there's a bunch of 30-year-olds having some nookie. That woman, when Rizzo was nearly pregnant, like, well, it's probably about time to settle down and have kids, tick-tock. And then you remember, no, she's actually meant to be 17. It's been a hard paper round, somehow. Kinnicky looks like he's about to retire. But anyway. The 1978 hit has scenes including a broken condom and ridiculing virginity. Right. If you need a trigger warning, because you might be so impacted by the idea of someone ridiculing virginity, you, my friend, are a virgin. Yeah. Which don't, I mean, look, the only reason to feel bad about that is you still could be sacrificed to, one of them nether gods. That's the only reason I tried to pop my cherry in the early days. The one thing I knew is that when push comes to shove and there's a sacrifice around, they always go for the virgins. That's why I was willing to drop my standards. Bear with. Good evening. What have we got here? They're not quite Ronnie Corbett. They are more Harold Lloyd, aren't they? I think I need to spend another £1.50 on Temu to get some thicker rims. Speaking of thicker rims, Buble, where have we got to? Happy New Year's, M, says Joodles. You too, Joodles. Great content that I'm reading out. I really should try and proofread this a bit more. Tell me more, says Proper Memes. I made that joke before too. But I think that story has been, it was long enough ago, wasn't it? I forget what I do on these shows. For good reason. Oh, this is an interesting one. Daily ice bath is New Year ambition. Ambition, not resolution, because we know that they're not doing resolutions. But daily ice baths, vitamin IV drips, and caffeine bans are among the New Year's resolutions for the young and health conscious, according to a survey. I don't believe it. Ice baths, that's because people can't afford to put the lecky on in it. That's, freezing cold bath this morning. Oh, your health kick? Yeah. Whereas on the inside, you're like, no, just don't put the heating on. Cold water. Only way I could save money. Only way I can afford to not buy coffees in coffee shops, caffeine free. That's that one. What's the other one in there? IV drips. Okay, well, that one's not saving you money, is it? Unless because you can't afford food, heating, you collapse, you go down the hospital, they give you an IV, and you just rebrand this for your TikTok that you're some sort of a health influencer. No. Edna Everidge, says Chris. Are you saying you need these? Are they these glasses? These are stylish. These are the kind of glasses I would have been wearing if I hadn't have been lasered. If I hadn't had my face cauterized, I'd still be wearing these bad boys. This is what I'd look like. I think it works. I think I might start turning up to places because people don't know if you've got real glasses, do they? This and some socks crammed somewhere, I could look like a new man. Clark Kent vibes. And with those glasses on, he could get back on the BBC. I think I need hair for that. We might do that as the crowdfunder. If we could get me some hair, that'd be great. I will go to Turkey for it. And what else? No, we're up to date with those. Where did this story go? Oh, this is kind of related to it. This one here. I climbed mountain in pants and Crocs. A fitness trainer climbed a snow-covered mountain wearing only budgie smuggler pants, Crocs, and a beanie. Yeah. We're meant to say, like, well done you, are we? No, please. Because I think this is another one of those excuses to be a wrong-uns. This is what I said about the naked bike rides and the charity things where people do things in the nude. And you're like, yeah, but if you weren't doing this and raising money for some made-up whatever you do, we'd just call you a wrong-un. Same thing here. You're climbing a mountain, so we let you walk around in Crocs and budgie smuggler pants. You did that in Waitrose. It should be on a register. So really, all that's happened is the location has changed. How dodgy you are, I think, is the same. Obviously, he is an ex-Royal Marine, so I'm not going to mock him too much. But in general, the concept of people walking with a bum crack out, I'm against. However, I will say this. It would be better to do it in Waitrose than a mountain. I would tolerate it in Waitrose more. Imagine you're trying to make your way up a mountain and you're not some ex-Marine, so you're not like peak fitness. You're struggling, you're walking up there out of breath, you look up, and what do you see ahead of you? On a mountain? Someone's two edams pressed together. No. Whereas if you're in Waitrose, it's lower down because Waitrose tend to be flat. Plus also there are edams there that you could look at. I'm not sure why that helps. But on the level, it's better to deal with people in thongs. When they're up there, I'm saying it would put me off climbing the rest of that mountain. And remind me of when I used to live near the Dartford Tunnel. You know what I mean? Good point here. Crocs are a dumpable offence. Thoroughly agree. One of the worst inventions. Jules said, I'd have arrested him, and I bet you'd have loved that, wouldn't you? You and your handcuffs. Is that where you're going with that one? Leo could get you a discount. I think he could. I think I might ask. He got a bit of a discount anyway. So I think he probably knows someone. I'd definitely willingly do that. Do you know why Crocs have holes in them? It's to let the wrong out. Peak fitness, boom, boom. It's all happening. The comment section is the place to be. Before we finish, what do I normally do on this show? Can anyone remember? What else have we got left? Oh, hang on. Okay. No, we've lost a story then because there's a story. Let's do this. We'll finish these and then I'll try and track down. I got sent another story for 5 Live that we didn't cover, so why not throw it in here? Most voters are against a generational smoking ban that's set to become law. Really? Because I never think of it. I wouldn't give 2 flips. If someone came up to me and said, what do you think about young people not being allowed to buy cigarettes? I don't know. I'll make less money going in the offie for them, I suppose. But because it's not like loads of people smoke anyway. I'm in favour, not in favour. At the time, I remember criticising this as a policy that really barely impacted anyone. Maybe it sounds good, but I think it had even curdled too much to sound good. Smoking was dying out. So bringing in another policy to end this thing that's ending itself anyway. But the fact that you're against it, my kids will never be allowed to smoke. Good. Don't think they would have anyway. Okay, we can do this one. Yeah. Jimmy Carr says he has a strange relationship with food as he tries to keep himself trim because he can be self-conscious on TV. Well, yeah, but you shouldn't be because you are thin. You try being someone who might have gained a little bit of weight since we started this show. I wrote a thing on New Year's Eve about this, the live streaming thing, so I had to watch bits of the first episode. I think I was in this shirt and I was looking healthier than I do now. So imagine being a bald gentleman who goes on telly with clips of people who might not be predisposed to liking the content. Jimmy, you've got it easy, is what I'm saying. Also, as a slightly thinning, I don't know if you noticed, I'm slightly thin on top. Even though we'll fix that with the crowdfunder, but we're slightly thin on top. And the lighting on GB News means that there's always some headlight. I've sorted out the lighting here so that as a bald gentleman, you don't get shine off the top. The side cams, even that's actually sorted, isn't it? Because Lav Abdel can't keep it by the looks of it. Look, there's glow on my nose, but not on the head, which is very difficult as a bald man. You go on GB News, and it's like they've just got spotlights right there to try and beam stuff back to light the other guests. If ever there was a channel that should have lighting set up for the balder, more gammony contributor, and I mean that with love, I thought I'd be safe there. I go on there. It's like I'm trying to bring down a plane. Anyway, so there we go. By the way, do go to Ko-fi.com and I will change it to be, why not? We'll change it to be like a fake hair thing. Some more comments before we move on. I saw the Grease musical is more racy than the film. Oh, is it? Says Alan. The musical as well as the film. Another trigger warning, not set for the country of Greece. Do you know what? Maybe they do need one as well. Glasses and side cam would be a good combo. Did I not do one of those already? Let's try that. Ladies, the Buble. I can't remember any Buble songs. Cry Me a River. It's not the best Buble impression you've heard, but it's in the right ballpark, isn't it? Is there anything JC has not had done? Oh, Proper Meme says he's had hair plugs. Has he? Okay. You'd think if there were surgery to fix that laugh, he'd have that tweaked. Just open up whatever the part of the larynx is that does it. Widen it so there's a deeper... You don't want to go full Gordon's alive, but you want something that's less... Like you're making love to a blow-up doll and there's a slight puncture, which I don't know what that's like before you judge, nor do I know what it's like to make love to Jimmy Carr. So just, look, hypotheticals exist. Stop judging me. Turkey teeth, turkey plugs, Ozempic. Oh, is that a Morsey? I think my teeth are all right. I'm all right with those. I had them whitened back when I was on the telly properly, and it's all right, isn't it? I'd have a bit of that. I'd have it. If you're gonna, I'd go all the way down here. I'd have a fringe down here. Do you reckon that might work? I think that would. You see, you think that looks weird, but looks a lot better on the side cam, doesn't it? Jimmy's laugh needs to be de-sealed. Yes, like a government document somehow. After 75 years. And hell yes, day made. What for the old? There you go. All right. So the story, I don't know how to bring it to you. I should try and get you, because I can't show you my full WhatsApps from the producer. the producer WhatsApp to me, How long is it? All right, I think there's a link. There's a link. Here it comes. This. Ooh, that fits quite nicely. Hang on. This is move out there. How to talk dating like Gen Z. 51 hyper-specific terms for love, sex, and bad behavior, according to this thing in The Guardian. And I say to you, no! I refuse to learn Gen Z phrases now. Every so often there's this story. New terms that Gen Z are using. I already know enough words. I know extrapolate and can do a joke about its meaning. I'm peaked, mate. I ain't doing more words. I got all the ones that I need. They get me through everyday life. If I learn Gen Z phrases, what's the upside? What's the upshot? I get to talk to Gen Zs more. If they want to communicate with me, they either learn to speak properly, like a national trust, actually not like a national trust person, wow, or learn some Gen X phrases. Yeah. You say something's skill. We're talking then. Oh, it's gone off. You say something's ace. Yeah. You say it's dip. I don't know what that was back in the day. So you're up to date. That's all some of the ones in there were weird, though. There's one. Hang on, I'll read you some of the stories, some of the ones. These are the different terms. Authenticity. That's not a Gen Z phrase. It's a word. Have you thought of this? Bird theory. This isn't a pile of BS as well. Have you heard of bird theory? The thing is, it was Julie and John Gottman, who are researchers into relationships. And the theory is if you say to your partner, oh, I saw a bird today. If your partner says, oh, yeah, what was it like? It shows their interest in you. If they go, well, you shut your stupid face. You're always going on about birds. Then it might mean there are subtle problems in your relationship. I think I've got the concept of this test right. But it misses out that it depends when you ask. There are people on TikTok asking this question to their partner. And if their partner doesn't respond, thoroughly like throwing them under the bus, getting social media to hate on their partner. Maybe if they're driving, shut up about birds. Maybe if they're doing a difficult park, then's not the time. If they got nothing else on, ask them, say, oh, I saw a bird today. And they'll be like, oh, yeah, what was it like? But if they're just in the middle of brain surgery, hi, darling, I saw a bird today. You know what I mean? Chair theory, it's basically the same. Will someone pull out a chair for you? The word theory is doing a lot of work here, isn't it? What else? The other one that I saw? Oh, yeah, DINK, dual income, no kids. You think you invented that phrase, did you? Gen Zs. Flags, red flag, green flag, beige flag. Green flags are quirks that validate your decision to pursue a mate. Examples include checking in and making sure you got home safe. Low screen time. I don't know about that. I know you don't want your partner looking at their phone all the time, but and I do a whole stand-up bit about if I watch a film with my other half, basically she looks at her phone through the entire film, but will every so often look up and say, oh, what just happened? So I have the job of film stenographer. More on that in my stand-up, I suppose. What we've got going on here in the old comments. A messy dating landscape. Sounds like a bikini wax, says Charlotte. Do you know what? Messy. That's, yeah. That's not bad. Go full Ibiza boss. Yes, I could. I reckon I could do that. I could even do that thing where you have like hair transplants into your beard to make it fuller around this area. I don't need it. I have to trim those bits out, but I could. Why not? Wax on, wax off. Yeah, I'm thinking about getting more hair put on, not hair taken off. Just keep the shirt on. And Alan says, I tried to go to the Michael Bublé concert years ago. Then walking through the forest, it was Michael Bolton Mullet. Fair enough. Steve, I can watch you on Talk TV, can't I? Yes, I'll be on Talk TV at 1. There is that as well. By then, I should have changed my shirt. I might make the effort. I think we're thoroughly up to date. There's one more story. I don't want to waste your time. My load of little ponies. My Little Pony superfan, already I've lost all sympathy, has a room just for her £35,000 collection of 6,000 toys. Oh, okay. Great. Miranda, single, from Lowestoft. I don't know if she is. Honestly, I'm judging. Doesn't mention a significant other. I'm not saying we don't know or not. There are no cats there, so there are arguments to be made in both ways. Great. I hope you love your ponies. However, you could have had £35,000 in the bank. And I Googled this earlier. You could have bought 3.5 actual ponies for that, like top end 10 grand ponies, the kind of ones that are good for kids. Bit weird. If you do, but you can get a cheap pony, and also the word pony means a certain amount of money, so the Googling took a long time to get that sorted. But you could buy 3 top end ponies, and you'd have a spare room. These hiccups are getting me. Which is what most people make. Most people in their 40s who have settled down and grown up and don't play with toys. A spare room would be exactly what you want. Decluttering, that even Alan's had to declutter. He knows what I'm talking about. Decluttering is God's greatest gift. You've lost £35,000 and a room. Okay. Let's have a look. Male My Little Pony fans are called bronies. They're not, are they? They are called not. Weird. Although Joodles prefers your joke, I made myself laugh a bit there as well. And a load of pony. Well, quite right, says Chris. the show often is. I think we've done all the stuff. I do have some of these to do for you.
Here are the plugs where you can see Steve and Helen all this week.
I would willingly have an episode where the plugs are the ones in my hair, if you're going to pay for them. But, plugs. You just missed most of it, is all I have to say. So, because I did last night, GB News was funny, tracked down the things from 11. This morning on Adrian Charles, I was right twice. You don't know what that means. Not even once. Anyone can be right once by accident. But fewer people can be right twice by accident. 1 p.m. I'm on Talk Radio reviewing some news. I don't know what the news is yet, but they have sent it through. Then next Wednesday is the next. Look at this. No stand-up gigs. So please do head to Ko-fi.com. Thank you to all that have, but Ko-fi.com/Mr. Stephen Allen would help because I don't have any gigs for some reason. Even though I look intelligent, I've been right twice on the BBC and I can pretend to wear glasses. Why am I not on Question Time? Do you want to see what's coming up on Talk this afternoon? Christ. Don't have long, actually. Hang on. Here we go. The stories. Newborn babies could be given digital ID in sinister, in quote marks, expansion of Labour policy. Fair enough. Yeah, because people talked about digital IDs being a way of stopping boat migrants. Boat migrants tend to not be that young, do they? If you've managed to cross the channel and then come out of a lady, you are David Copperfield. You deserve to stay. Keir Starmer under fresh pressure to scrap digital ID. Same story. Islamist killer wins 240,000. I've already got my hot take on that one. That was on GB last night. Trump, US is locked, loaded and ready to intervene in Iran protests. Well, it's a good job I know someone who's been right about Iran twice in the last couple of hours. Shocking new vid shows moment the horror... the Swiss bar fire. It's a sad... I can't be funny about that. Also, I can't do my... If the Swiss wristwatch strap shop shops, which shop still sells Swiss wristwatch straps? Can't do that over this story, which is a shame. 1 in 10 Britons would buy weight loss jabs on TikTok. I wonder what my thoughts are on that one. And children to be vaccinated against chickenpox for the first time. I'm not going to be pro-pox, so there we go. All right, let's wrap this bad boy up. Charlotte says, great show, Steve. Thank you. Even I wasn't sure. And I do think maybe these Friday live and loose ones, the more I prepare a show, the worse it gets. What's the lesson there? Correlation, causation. No one knows. The glasses, you took the words right out of my mouth, says Charlotte, quoting Meatloaf. See you at 1. And Joodle says, cross the channel and then come out of a lady. There are things I'm missing, apparently. Well, yeah, it would be quite the magic act. But you'd make yourself look like you're a baby. I think if you can somehow fake that, you deserve to stay. Locked and loaded. I'm used to that, says Charlotte. And have a good weekend, says Alan. You too. Is it nearly the weekend? Huh. And Toodles, Chris says Toodles as well. We will get Larry on the show at some point. If you could head to Ko-fi.com, thank you to all that I have, but Ko-fi.com/Mr. Stephen Allen. Any money you could throw in the general direction will buy this head some hair at some point. Why not? I've always worried that if it goes wrong, I'd be ruined, but I think I've reached the age where it's like I'll get a tattoo when I'm in my 70s, because who cares then? You got it for the rest of your life. Yeah. So I think I'm reaching the age where I'd have work done. Why not? We've done Tuesday. I believe we'll be back to normal next week. I've not checked the diary, but let's hope that it is. Enjoy yourself with whatever you get up to, and until next time...
Here comes the news with a twist and a grin. Stephen Allen diving in again. Almost daily, but always sharp. He'll hit your brain like a lightning spark. Stephen Allen, almost daily. Laughs and facts.
and it feels good. Bodum, bodum, bodum.